Good morning, everybody. My name is Kathy Tipton. The best way to I thank our member who is generously donating her time and effort and information knowledge to us that is to provide honest and useful feedback in the session evaluation at the conclusion of our session today. Our tech master will drop an evaluation link into the chat at the end of the session. If you miss it, do not worry. We will follow up with an email at the conclusion of the LACE training. If you're not speaking, please remember to keep yourself on mute to avoid background noise. We have a fun, informative, and fast-paced session planned for today. If you want to see the speaker and make the presentation smaller, drag the speaker window to the left. Please consider saving your chat at the end of the session to capture all of the links and all of the treasures that Sheryl is going to provide for me. Now let me introduce our speaker. Want a greater response from your professional efforts and fresh ideas to revitalize your club and boost membership. Get ready to learn tried and proven tips applied to your outreach online and in print. And discover simple ways to attract visitors and new members to your club. Marketing is a fundamental success of your club. In this insightful session, you will discover golden nuggets, including 3 types of readers and the 3 stages on how they read. What design elements are best placed in the layout and why? And the benefits of hosting a speech club series to boost the membership or to launch a new club. Our keynote speaker is a subject matter expert in the field and generously shares over 45 years of experience in marketing, plus 4 decades of Toastmasters membership. Sheryl Roush has owned 5 graphic design studios, received 4 Toastmaster International Awards for newsletters, and published 5 books on this topic. Her solid gold newsletter design, illustrated book created just for Toastmasters, has become a course book for the University of Ottawa in Canada. Sheryl is also the author of the International Book Awards Best Anthology for the Heart of a Toastmaster, showcasing 135 members globally sharing their stories. Sheryl is the youngest female of 93 who are in 148 countries to earn the Toastmasters accredited speaker designation for professional speaking. She is the CEO of Sparkle Presentations, and she was a sponsor for our Bahamas convention last year and is a sponsor for the Anaheim convention next month. How to promote. Showing us how to promote our club to potential members in this Market Like a Pro session. Let us welcome distinguished Toastmaster, accredited speaker, Sheryl Roush.
Thank you. Thank you. So if everyone would please mute, we want to give a clean recording of this for the archives. And first of all, let me properly address you. Thank you very much for being here. We are gold miners. California is known as the Gold Rush State. Well, guess what? We are chipping away at a gold mine today of marketing, including, and if I were there in the room with you, I would be handing out, many of you have heard me in person, yep, golden nuggets. These happen to be the milk chocolate golden nuggets with roasted California almonds. I love sharing our gold with other places where I speak. So on page 2 or in the second handout that's been loaded into the chat, then that's going to be your golden nugget sheet so that you'll be able to capture some notes. Download the handouts. Our Zoom masters are busy loading it up right now. There are 1, 2, and 3 items of the 8 for this very loaded session. So thank you. If I hit warp 9, all right, live long and prosper, we're hitting it. Okay. So let's talk about then, how can we promote our club? In this session, we're going to be taking a look at internal as well as external marketing and what do we need to focus on. After this session, you'll probably never look at a piece ever the same way again. And at the end of the session, I'm going to circle back to you and in the chat box, ask you to put what are the golden nuggets that you discovered in this mother lode of marketing session? And what are your takeaways? What are you going to do as a result of taking action on this? And I'm actually wearing golden nuggets that one of my mentors actually mined for me in California. So there you go. All right, let's hop in. Let's get going. Let's light up the chat now. Please comment in the chat. Your response to marketing is what? Marketing is what? All right, let's light it up. Light it up. Marketing is what? Matchmaking. Oh, I love that definition. Essential, yes. A lot of work could be, especially if we're not effective in our time. All right, connecting, thank you. Advertising, networking, yes, thank you. Keep going. It's word and voice of a club, yes, and of our entire organization. Persuasion, yes. Getting noticed professionally, yes. Knowing your audience, bingo. Okay, so Betsy, right there, you get the first golden nugget. There you go, Betsy. All right. Getting noticed professionally, knowing your audience. Ooh, okay, there you go. There's another nugget. I love it. Creating demand. Yes, absolutely. Yes, lots of nuggets here. All right. So informing to convincing, supplying the members' need. Ah, there you go. Yes, more golden nuggets. I love it. Call to action. Absolutely. Connecting value to the group of people. Oh, I love it. You are already lighting up the chat. Thank you. Showing people what you have to offer, passing the word through any means. Oh, all of these are great. Thank you. Keep popping them into the chat. And at the end of the session, as Kathy had said, you are going to want to save the chat. It is already loaded. For our purposes today in this mother lode of marketing session, here's how I express what I believe marketing is for us as Toastmasters. I believe that it is getting the word out that we are the solution to their problem, whatever their issue, their challenge, whatever their desired outcomes, because Helen Blanchard, our very first female international president of Toastmasters International, she said that if you get everything out of Toastmasters, you can get out of Toastmasters. You will never get out of Toastmasters. Okay, so I've been here. It's true because I've been a member now for 37.5 years. And in this program, I'll also share with you the value of hosting a Speechcraft series because I joined on a Speechcraft. So if you don't think that members convert from being visitors into valued members, yes, we do. So again, we're looking for how are we the solution to their problems? If you think back, and feel free to pop into the chat, why did you originally join Toastmasters? Short version of my story, I joined to be a better boss because in my graphic design studios in San Diego, all of my employees, 6 of them full-time at that time, they were each my senior. And I wanted to be able to convey what we needed to do for feedback as well as working with our clients. I wanted to be very respectful of that. So I joined to be a better boss. There you go. So let's take a look at those markets. And there are 2. So the very first are internal. That's with our current members. So that's what we see a lot of on Facebook. And we're going to take a reframe of that because do we need to be promoting our clubs to other members who are already members of their own clubs? Let's take a look instead at number 2, external. How can we go outside of Toastmasters for our non-members and get potential guests? Because here's the tip is to match the message to that audience. And it was posted in the chat already, matchmaking. I love it. I love it. That's worth several golden nuggets. I love it. Matchmaking. Yep, that's it. So we need to make sure that it aligns with it. The message aligns with that particular audience. Who is it that we want to attract? And we'll also take a look at a reframe of one of the common phrases we use for our events. We're just going to give a couple of suggested alternatives, which will make attendance at those events probably an 80% improvement in the attendance. All right, so this one I'm not really sure. And this one's right from Founders District. And any of the samples that you see that I'm using today, thank you. They're only for educational purposes. And I say this with great respect. Thank you that we can all learn from your examples. All right. So is this internal, external? I'm not really sure. All right, so let's look at this one, which I know is internal. Be a club officer. This is done very well with our TI branding. We'll take a quick look at that as well. And we have a couple new fonts and a new color added into our TI brand portal. So really well done with that. Notice the check marks on that, because what's in it for you, it addresses what's the pain and how are these the solutions. Those tick marks are going to be a graphic element that you want to start using instead of nothing or even bullet points. They grab people's attention. We'll take a look at what are the 3 stages of how people read. This is also a great promo. Yay, coming up, our centennial. And thank you, Smedley Chapter 1. On August 13th, with our international president and the founder of our organization. Yep, Dr. Smedley's coming back in spirit. There you go. So these are internal messages. Again, this is us speaking to us. That's the matchmaking there. Externally, this is, I believe, where we need to be focusing, especially since we are in what's being referred by many district leaders I'm working with as the bounce back. So we are bouncing back from COVID. So you'll see some of the paradigm shifting that I bring in with the mindset into this mother load today as well. So external, and here's a good example of this. Mississauga is in District 86 outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, by the way. So this one is external. It goes outside, but even with this, we could modify it to be more effective. Usually when I review marketing materials for my clients and organizations that hire me, as well as I do right here for Toastmasters, is that the elements are there. They're probably not in the most effective placement though. So we're going to be taking a look at what goes where and why. All right, so what's the need for why we market? Well, let's do a little bit of math since we are bouncing back, because we want to collaborate, cultivate, and celebrate. So thank you. Let's do that. So in meeting math, there's typically 15 meeting roles with 3 speakers. That's no overlap. That would mean that we're not a speaker, our own evaluator, and our own counter. Yeah, we've done that. All right, and then plus 1 Zoom master, so whether it be hybrid or virtual, that's 16 people right there. All right, so think about your own club right now, and how many people do you typically have show? Yeah. All right. So there's more to these numbers. All right. So for table topics, we want to have different participants than our major roles. And hello, we have been forgetting to invite guests, visitors to our meetings. We need to start ASK in order to GET. There you go. We need audience members. And the number one reason why most of us join Toastmasters is to gain confidence, whether it be better speaking, leading, thinking, managing, whatever that it is, that we need a safe, supportive environment in which to practice those skills. Well, we have it, but what we need, and here's our number for today, is we really want 20 to 25 people in attendance at each of our meetings. That's our magic number. And why is that important? Because healthy membership, 20, is our number for maintaining charter strength. That means that when we start a new club, we launch a new club, we need to have at least 20 people to charter. Now, Founders being the birthplace of Toastmasters, it's where it all began. So now let's take a look at what about employee training programs where we have clubs or training programs inside of corporations. And Founders has one of the largest corporate training programs in the entire world, 172 members in that particular club. That's impressive. It's part of the employee process there. So, and what a huge benefit too. So when we think about more members, and please, there's a paradigm shift, think bigger, please think bigger. More members equals more creativity, more energy, greater engagement, the feedback that we get. Just think of how it accelerates our growth. So think back to, again, why you originally joined Toastmasters. If it's to gain confidence, how are you doing it with a small audience, a small group? And if you're an introvert like me, I'm still in recovery, believe it or not, I am. I'm actually an ambivert, which is a person between extrovert and introvert. We need the supportive environment. All of us do. So let's talk about the birthplace and where we are currently at regarding our membership. And this is a recent source. So currently we have 95 paid clubs. Now, thank you for those who are attending from other districts from around the globe. Thank you very much. And you can tap into the district leadership in your own district and find out what are the numbers on your dashboard. This is a tailored program for Founders District. So that's why you'll see many of the samples here, specifically from Founders. So currently 95 paid clubs. What is that comprised of? There are 46 clubs with membership under 20. So if yours is one, and if you're not sure, then reach out to District Trio and ask, what is your current membership? Or ask your VP of membership inside of your club. Of those 95 paid clubs, there are 19 clubs with membership under 10. Now that's one of our own pain points, because are we really benefiting from everything this program has to offer? And Dr. Smedley said it best when he said that we need to share with others the benefits we have gained for ourselves. We can't hold it to ourselves. We need to share it. And that really is our mission. So I did some easy math on this. So that means that 65 clubs are under charter strength, with the exception of that one that has 172. All right. So under charter strength, we need to bounce back. So this program will empower you to design more effective marketing materials and implement speechcraft. So let's pull back a little bit and add some golden nuggets regarding how do we do that? How do we effectively market? This is some of my own trademark material. So on page 2, inside of handout number 1, then let's fill in some of those blanks. So again, market like a pro. Well, let's break it down too. We have 3 different types of readers. Let's start there. According to the American Library Association, 10 to 15% are considered non-readers. So non-readers in any type of marketing require simple words and text, photographs, visuals, numbers in the layouts, videos, 10 to 15%. The second group matches the first percentage, but it's the opposite. It is 10 to 15% are avid readers. They read everything they can get their hot little hands on. And if there's a typographical mistake, bless their little hearts, they're going to tell us what it is. Great, because we need proofreaders. So thank them very much for that. When it comes to layout preference, what the graphic design actually looks like, they preferred more conservative layouts. Of course, the true avid readers that I know of, the bookworms, if you will, if they could design a piece, it would be margin to margin text, just absolutely filling the page. Is that you? Yeah. By the way, we're non-readers when it comes to opening emails, and we're not sure if it really relates to us, or opening direct mail marketing pieces. Junk mail. We're not sure if it relates to us. We're quick to toss it. We'll take a look at that in more detail in just a moment. So that leaves 70 to 80% of us are skimmers. We have a mantra. It's kind of like we're browsing through things and it's like, we're just looking for the bullet points, good graphic design, more progressive types of layouts. And if it's on printed paper, we want paper that feels good. Is that you? A little bit of kinesthetic in there. So here's what's interesting is that each of these reading groups also have a time available of how they read. This is a big paradigm shift. So after this segment, you'll never look at a piece ever the same way again. You'll never design a piece ever the same way again either. These stages must occur in this order for the piece to be effective. This relates to email, posters, social media, flyers, website designs, anything across the board. So stage 1 represents relevance. The question that the reader is asking, should I read, file it, toss it? Can I click away? Because relevance answers the question of WIIFM. Yeah, what's in it for me and the time available. This research is from David Ogilvy and his book, Confessions of an Advertising Man. 1 to 7 seconds. It's that fast. Wow. You and I do the same thing. We're looking for, is this relevant to me? Does this relate to me? Interesting. I speak often for our districts in Canada, and they refer to this, and the word translates to pertinent. I love it. Is it pertinent? Wow. So based on how well that we have established with them, yes, it relates to you. Stage 2 is confirmation. The question now that the reader's going through is they want to prove themselves correct. Was I right? Does it relate to me? And the time available now is longer. It's 1.5 minutes, up to 90 seconds, because we'll go back and we'll reread. The avid readers, bless their hearts, they'll find any typographical mistakes. They'll also let us know what information is missing, which is important to them. Wow. Again, stage 1 relevance, stage 2 confirmation. And based on how well that we've addressed those first 2 critical stages, they'll move with us into stage 3, which is the action stage or call to action. And here the reader's looking for, what do I do next? The time available is long as needed. The non-readers, it may go back and they will look at photos and maybe have somebody explain something to them. If English is their second, third, fourth language, then again, we can be very supportive there. The avid readers, they're going to go back and reread and see if we missed anything. But the skimmers are quick decision makers. As soon as they establish it's relevant, we're signing up, we're registering, we're clicking that link. Now, how does this go into the page layout? You might be thinking, where are they best placed? Stage 1 relevance is in the top, the very top zone. So you'll take a look at both the portrait layout as well as a landscape. Confirmation are more of the details and those bullet points. Call to action down at the bottom. Same thing if it is, say, one of our posters in social media. And again, depending on what you're using for your software program, and included in this session is the guide to where the Canva templates are using TI branding, that we'll put that into the chat a little bit later in this session. So what does that mean then? How do we grab their attention and let them know that, yes, this is relevant to you? I have a few suggestions on that. Here's an actual flyer. We'll be using this sample twice in this model because of both implementing the stages as well as the results. So at the very top, I'm a big fan of asking questions that name the pain or the challenge or the issue or what's the desired outcome. This grabs people's attention. You'll also notice that in my speaking introductions, we also start with questions that name the pain. It's a pattern interrupt. It grabs people's attention in those 1 to probably 3 seconds. So I'm a big fan of either 1 or 3 questions. You'll see that in a few samples. It could be 2. I probably wouldn't do 4 questions, but it could be 1, 2, 3 questions. So for instance, this was hosting a free seminar, not an open house. We'll talk about that. So a free seminar that would launch a speechcraft series 2 weeks later. Stay tuned. There's more on that. So asking the question of we did some matchmaking here, because who is the potential attendee for this free seminar who could be visitors or speech crafters, which are participants, not yet members of Toastmasters, and then convert to becoming members of our otherwise dying club. Again, I'll tell you more of the story in just a second. So the questions that would be relevant to those potential attendees are that they need to give presentations. So take the pain, hand it back to them in the form of a question. It grabs their attention. It brings them in. They're confirming, oh, I need this. And they will go right through the piece to the call to action. If they wanted to boost their public speaking skills, again, you could use this for leadership as well and communicate with others more effectively. Yeah, feel free to capture a screenshot, especially as I bring this up. So free seminar, the date, the location, public speaking and training tips, And creating, here's a golden nugget, create a sense of urgency. Time-related words help us to create that. You can use immediately, as in right now or today, any of those. Now, who's it for? Let's do some more matchmaking there. Well, it's going to be ideal for any level of management, administration, and because it was held at a hospital, patient care, and in any industry or field. Wow, that's pretty much carte blanche. There you go. And then here's a little bit of soft teaser. Bring your friends, supervisors, and coworkers to this program. And then more details before we even get to the bullet points and more teaser copy that helps to establish relevance. Learn how to. So anytime that we use, write this one down, another golden nugget. Yep. So how to is the number one selling phrase, title or subtitle to an event. How to implies relevance in those first 7 seconds. So learn how to do what? Authentically connect with others in one-to-one conversations and in groups. Oh, so that goes back to the pain point. Discover. So again, notice that the learn, gain, discover, all of those are referred to as parallel structure. What's the verb that you want people to do? Discover time-saving tips to do what? To design and deliver effective presentations and briefings. So then bottom line, in a bold subheadline, in this interactive, so interactive says, oh, what's in it for me? I'm actually going to get something out of it. You will, meaning me, applies relevance. Notice it doesn't say join us anywhere. Those are a couple phrases we need to remove from our marketing. Discover, learn, gain. There's a fourth one over here. Learn a simple shortcut. Handout includes. Okay, so then credibility, because whenever we have an event, people want to know why this speaker, why should I care? What's their credibility? What am I going to get from it? Because it's no longer the cost of what something is, it's our time. Time is our biggest competitor. So any words that we can use regarding convenient, like our club has convenient meeting times. And then bottom line down at the bottom then is the call to action. So what is the desired response? In this particular example, it was to RSVP. So that's the what goes where and why. Big, lots of gold there, right? Lots of golden nuggets right there. We'll come back to that one. So here's an example. District 100, I presented a program for them last week, and a great sample of this. This is what they're getting ready to launch a new club. I think this was used, I saw it as an internal message. I'm thinking let's tweak it and make it external, because we don't need to market to current members as much as we need to market to those who are potential members. All right, so kind of take a look at this. Here's the before. Club name up at the top. 4 photos, a little bit busy. I'm not sure quite what to look at. All right, key thing that is for tech enthusiasts. Got it. Okay, information. Okay, got it. Logo. All right, done in our branding, our fonts, our colors, images. Well done. Here's the makeover though. Remember, name the pain, relevance, had it back to them in the uppermost portion of the layout. This has 2 questions. Answering the questions of what their new club is going to be dedicated to. Plus, let's see, and I don't know if I added any text to it, maybe practice in a safe and supportive environment. Everything else, this was a tweak. So in PowerPoint, taking their original images, this was about 10 minutes of a makeover. 2 photos instead of 4. Consider taking photos of your members with their permission and use it in your marketing, because matchmaking, people want to imagine what it's like to come into our experience. Show them. Then when they see the ad and they come to your meeting or even virtually, they go, I saw you in the ad. Yep, that's me. Keeps it very real and authentic. Immediately puts people at ease. This is great. So that was a makeover. Very simple, easy to do, applying the techniques that we're talking about. So let's take a look at then what is your event? Who is it for? And why would they be interested? On the next page inside of your handout, this is a worksheet. It's a worksheet to help us identify our market. So let's break this down. Up at the very top is the what. What is the type of event that it is? And then the who. So identify who is your ideal, let's say visitor. And then the why goes back to what are their pains and needs? What are the benefits to them? They're looking for the why. Again, 1 to 7 seconds. Is it relevant to me? And then going through and helping to confirm it. I love what our Golden Gavel Award recipient, Dr. Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly People, that this is our second of his effective habits. Number 2 is to begin with the end in mind. This is a big golden nugget. This is huge. This applies to speaking as well as it does to marketing. Perfect parallels between speaking and marketing. Begin with the end in mind. Who, what, and why. Then build it backward, building the event. What else do they need to know? Match the message to that particular audience. If you have something that's internal, that needs to be entirely different messaging than what goes external. So identify the needs, the problem, the challenges. Feel free to capture a screenshot of, and this is just a starter list. You can certainly add to this. What is it that people need from us? I put gaining greater confidence as our number one thing. And it could be presenting a proposal, improved interpersonal skills, leadership, managerial skills, meeting management. I've added this one to our list, time, task, and energy management. Probably one of the greatest skills that I have learned, but yet it's not in print anywhere except on my slide. Time, task, and energy management. That's one of the greatest gifts for me in my 37 and a half years of membership. So feel free to add to this list, take it back to your club, have a discussion, and this would be a great time to do moments of truth inside of your club and realign with the club success plan and find out how well are we doing, how well are we meeting the members' needs? And then ask people why they originally joined. Because if they joined your club because of those particular reasons, there's more of us out there that would like the same thing. It could be to create a campaign that is a general social media poster done in TI branding that names some of those pains in the headline and even has a photo of that member sharing their testimonial, their success story. Identify the needs. We are the solution to the problem or the desired outcome. Page 4 is another worksheet for you, an event promotion checklist, if you will. Bottom line, what is important to them? That's what we need to include. So then what does it look like? Well, let's take a quick look at branding. We're all under the umbrella of Toastmasters International. And I know we've heard it said before that if, I don't know if you've heard this one, but like if McDonald's started changing its logo, they kind of changed their look, but they still keep something consistent. We did a brand refresh back in 2010 during the year of Pat Johnson, international president. And I've been a brand ambassador ever since with that. And I'm a firm believer that we need to all align because it strengthens the awareness of our brand. So all of our clubs need to align with that. Pepsi, several years ago, they tried to change their logo, their color, and people didn't buy it. They didn't buy it at all. All right, so let's take a look at our branding. All right. So if we remove the logo and the materials, can we still get away with that? I'll share with you here, we need to be creative. We do. And within our branding, inside and outside of our club. These are our logos to use. So Toastmasters International, whether it be the globe or the wordmark logos, all of these are available, and you'll see in the chat box the link to the brand portal. Everything is there for anything that you may need to produce. They've really made it easy for us. And when you're promoting Speechcraft, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, then include the logo with the word Speechcraft as it is used.
Bluetooth, Karen.
Could we mute, please, and maybe turn off the transcription service? Thank you. And then we have, this is our 100th anniversary, our centennial, coming back to the birthplace of Toastmasters. So we have permission and encouragement to be using our 100th logos. Well, on the left, we'll see that, yes, these are logos and our word marks to be using. On the right, nope, nope. So if you're thinking, well, is it really that important? Yes, it is. So we need to align with our branding. But let me show you some examples I found just a couple of days ago, about 20 minutes on Facebook. Yes, all of these are Toastmaster clubs infringing on not following the brand and having club logos. Please go back to your club and confirm that you are not using something which is not a Toastmaster brand identifier. We're all in this together. When one of us uses the brand, it supports all of us using the brand, and it'll actually bring greater credibility to your own club and your promotions. So thank you for that. All right, so the color palette, also in the brand palette, we get one new color. All right, so how do we use these current colors? The true maroon is going to be well, it's considered a cool color, but it brings a lot of attention to everything that it does. The loyal blue is the coolest color up here. And what that does is the color blue and color psychology, and I could give a whole program just on color psychology, fantastic research there, is that the cool color typically cools people down, as does the cool gray. So if it's just kind of a calm message, the loyal blue and the cool gray. If you want to rev up, and especially external marketing where you want people to attend and get their attention, I suggest using True Maroon with the Happy Yellow. That's the hottest two color combination in our color palette that moves people to action faster than any other color combination. Now, we have a brand new color to our palette. It's black, and especially because of our centennial celebration coming to Anaheim. Yep, so we've got black and gold. And we also have new fonts. We have two fonts, Corinthia and luxurious script. So you have been seeing Corinthia in a lot of the slides here. It's a beautiful, casual, nice hand kind of writing with that. Download these for free, by the way, in the brand portal. And the luxurious script is ideal for club anniversaries, district anniversaries, congratulations messages that they absolutely look beautiful. Well, how does this all pull together? Here's an example of TI branding with the radiant rays behind it, the logo, everything that I'm talking about regarding the relevance, the what's in it for them, the confirmation with the tick mark, check marks, the call to action, the additional relevance and confirmation, all of that. So here's a before and after from District 5, where I'm from, San Diego, home of Helen Blanchard, our first female international president. So this is the before. Kind of take a look at it. Not bad. You may be thinking, well, it's not bad. Could it be better? Well, okay, let's see. It is external. There's a lot of information up here about Toastmasters. I don't be a better you unless I skip this text and I go over to these. I'm not really sure. Email us. So that's about us, not about them. Let's see how we can improve that. That's the before. Here's the after. With the pattern interrupt question, naming the pain handed back in the form of a question, are you ready to build a better you? Soft teaser closed there. Now is the time. Now is one of those words that creates a sense of urgency to learn personal and professional skills you will use. So it's not about us. It's completely about them. This is all designed with what I refer to as reader-centered text. It's not join us. We will teach you. Nothing about us, it's about them. Photo in the upper right-hand corner, it's going to help grab people's attention as well. And the Toastmaster word mark now in the bottom right-hand corner. So everything follows the 3 stages. Again, simple, just kind of tweak it. All right, so now let's talk about reframing words, because do words really matter? Yes, we know in Toastmasters, yes, they do. So grammarian for this gold mine, here's my input on this. Open house versus calling something a free seminar or a special event. Does it matter? Yes, it does. Again, because we are matchmakers here. Open house is traditionally recognized as engaged with selling real estate. So that's people's concept of it. They don't bring it into personal and professional development. They're not correlating it. They're not correlating it. So in my own research that I've done regarding open house versus free seminar, in just those two, open houses may attract, and how we've been promoting it, unfortunately, is to other Toastmasters. No, it needs to be designed to be external if you're going to be doing an open house or demonstration meeting, and you can go back to that event checklist. However, open house, according to my research, only converts less than 1% of the guests who attend an open house into becoming members. 1%. Versus free seminar, which brings in 80% more people to the event with a greater conversion rate, over 50%. So let me share an example using a flyer that you've already seen. So this particular flyer, again, I had said that this was going to be a free seminar to launch an in-person speechcraft program during the club meeting to boost the club membership. So how do we get back up to the 20 member charter strength? Da, 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 da. It's going to be Speechcraft. I'm a firm believer in Speechcraft series, hosted during the club if you want to boost membership, hosted outside the club in the community if you want to do a nonprofit organization, if you want to do it at your own cost, or start or launch a brand new club, which we also need to be doing to continue our mission. So 2 weeks later, after this special event on June 5, during the regular meeting, and I had suggested, let's really think big. The VP of membership was a registered nurse at this hospital. And as I approached my club, which at that time had a very small membership, I'll reveal the numbers exactly, but it was painful to me as a past district governor to see that my own club was really in a lot of pain. And as Mary, our VP of membership, said, if we don't give our club some CPR right away, it's going to die. So glad as a healthcare professor, she said that. So here's what we did. And I said, let's set a big goal. Let's fill this room. And it was a large room. Club provided snacks. We promoted it inside the building, the company email boxes, because our VPPR was volunteer of the year for the hospital. Okay, he had connections. He just wasn't doing the ask to get people to come to our meetings. We posted it on bulletin boards inside and outside as well. Here's the outcomes. Think free seminar, right? Free seminar. At this event alone, the outcomes were 65 guests. I think the fire code was about 80. So we filled the room. We only had 10 club members at that time. 14 people enrolled for the Speechcraft that would start 2 weeks later. As their excitement grew, they went back into their workplace. They helped enroll 4 or 5 more people at the series start. It's like, oh, come with me, come to this program. Here's the results from this special event. 12 to 14 new members. We went from dead to above distinguished. We hit presidents that year because one member who needed the credit of a Speechcraft coordinator was able to earn his Distinguished Toastmaster. Wow, it's possible. So let's talk about Speechcraft. And again, I'm here today because I was invited to an 8-week communication skills series, pretty much a crash course on communication and speaking skills. And she promised me breakfast, and it was at the El Fandango Mexican restaurant in Old Town San Diego. I'm still here. So let's download. This is handout number 3 that's going into the chat box. This is a loaded handout provided for you again to follow. So I'm going to skim a couple of things. But as an overview, if you're not familiar with Speechcraft, or maybe it's a refresher, is hosting a Speechcraft series can attract members to an existing club, conduct a program in the community, train staff in a business or organization, and begin forming a new club. It will also re-energize your members. Amazing. If you need some CPR, host a Speechcraft. Now, the members do not pay for the Speechcraft. It's the non-members who come in, and we'll talk about that here too. So you can host a Speechcraft series as 4, 6, or 8 weeks. You get to decide, your club gets to decide. Let me give you some overview, some guidelines for this. Any questions that you have district support. So pop an email to pqd@foundersdistrict.org. So that's also in the material here. So I attended a Speechcraft training hosted by TI. And I love this, that here's the policy and a quick overview. You can charge Speechcrafters, non-members, not the members, 6 months due. So now this number is old. Instead of $45, it's now $60 for the program, and $20 a new member fee for them joining the club. My strategy is to build the new member fee and the 6 months dues into the tuition or the investment, so you can charge them. Then you let them know that as a result of this program, 4, 6, or 8 weeks, that they still have until, let's say, September 30th, that their dues are included. Keep coming back to the club to practice. All right. Now, there is TI policy, so it can only be a maximum of twice whatever the 6 months dues are, which means $120. And you can then add to it the new member fee. So yes, abundant resources here. So in the resource library, again, we are lighting up the chat. Thank you very much. Lots of links on this, and additional documents are coming into the chat box for you too. So the resource library, everything is there. In the handout on page 2, I've given a page as an overview, but I'm going to point out a couple of things. Again, that nominal fee, $120 maximum. When we purchase the digital bundle for $50, which should be paid out of the club treasury, not an individual, and to host a Speechcraft, it must be hosted by a club in which that member is a member, and one person can receive credit toward their Speechcraft coordinator toward their distinguished Toastmasters. So you have 5 people for $50. That's our cost. So then that's $10 a person. You may be thinking, okay, we'll just charge $10. But what if your club has expenses that need to be covered, which we do? Or what happens if, gosh, we have 8 people who sign up, fabulous, and it only costs us, we would buy 2 bundles for that, and 2 people in the same club can now get credit as Speechcraft coordinators. Wow, this is great. So instead of 5 and 3, you have 4 and 4 Speechcrafters, and the current members of the club serve as guides, kind of mentoring the Speechcrafters in the interactive digital program. Wow, it's all good. And by the time that they complete their Speechcraft series, they've already completed 1 level toward their path. And wow, they'll stay because they want ongoing practice, because they love your club, the personality, the experience. That's how you convert visitors into members and invigorate your club, as well as boost membership inside and outside of your club. So here's a sample that you could use. So I've included that as a design, and a sample promotional flyer. All right, so then what about those speeches? So all of this is in the Speechcraft coordinator set. When you purchase a Speechcraft bundle, do not indicate who the coordinator will be, not yet. And do not indicate the start date, not yet, because those are the only 2 things you can't change. You cannot change. Keep the record, keep the receipt, because you'll need what your code is in order to go back in. But then you can preview all of this. So say a month in advance, which you'll probably want, just to get everything lined up and the guides and your club members and get everybody invigorated. All right, so what about those speeches there for each of the sessions? Right there, you could use, perfect for this, the Better Speaker series for those 10 to 15 minute educational presentations. And to help invigorate our current members, then what if you brought in members from your club, your area, your division, or district to present those educational sessions? I love how well these are put together, because each of these topics, here are our topics. They perfectly align with Speechcraft for one thing, but you could also have any of these presentations to reinvigorate your club now, especially after you do a moments of truth and double check with your club success plan. Well, get this, the whole set is free. So you download TI item number 269 as a zip file. In the zip file is everything that you need, including the slides, the curriculum, the facilitator's guide. It's impressive. It's absolutely impressive. So then back to the special event. Remember when we had the 65 guests and we only had 10 members? At the end of the presentation, which was solid content and telling the story of what Toastmasters has done for you as the guest speaker, the members stood up at the back of the room with these colored flyers printed on a smooth type of paper. Remember, feels good. This is skimmer friendly, quick decision makers. So they walked forward from the back of the room, handing out this particular promotional flyer to support enrollment. Everything using TI branding. Go ahead and capture a screenshot of this. It's the what goes where and why, and very effective. This is the one that created such high enrollment. So from District 1, here's a makeover of a promotion, again, to show you why it's important what we do and what goes where and why. So notice up here at the very top, it says join us. That's not about them. It's about us. So what can we do? Well, all right, relevance. Do you want to become? Yes. All right, let's remove that join us. And confirmation, it's a public speaking workshop, 8-week intensive to help you become. Has the rest of the information is great. All right, call to action, fabulous. See the photo down at the bottom of the woman facing off of the page. This is called implied motion in graphic design. All we need to do is to flip the photo. Always have eyes coming back into any object that's pointing into a layout, bring it back into the text. That was a simple little tweak. Well, one of my dear colleagues who I consider a master trainer for Speechcraft coordinators is Ann Golden. She is a member of Districts 5, 38, and 83, and I asked her to create a prep timeline. So this is also going into the chat box for you. Thank you very much. So you have this graphic regarding managing time, task, and energy when planning a Speechcraft program. Who are ideal then? Again, not yet members. Who needs the skills that this program offers? Remember, we're still talking about building our membership in our clubs or starting a new club. The second question, what are their pains or challenges? Think back to why you originally joined. The third is, when is a convenient time for them to attend? And if it's not convenient for them to attend your club, pop the PQD at foundersdistrict.org a note that they can spreadsheet who are the people who are interested in attending and need some suggestions for clubs who are hosting an upcoming Speechcraft program. You'll also want to let the PQD know that your club is getting ready to host a 4, 6, or 8-week series. When and where, what are the details, so that they can help funnel people to be involved as your speech crafters, help you fill the program. Where are they located? Why would they attend? Bottom line, well, they invest. And it is an investment. It is a tuition. So there you go. Here's my questions for you on this. Now that you've seen a little bit about Speechcraft and how we can use it to rebuild, to bounce back into healthy membership inside of our own clubs and globally, What groups, go ahead and in the chat, if you would please light it up for me. Light it up. What groups or organizations, and click everyone so that everyone can get some great ideas. And you're going to want to save the chat when we complete this session. Add to the ideas of what groups or organizations do you know of that could be served by a Speechcraft program? Who in that club could be of support? Questions for you. Who needs a credit toward their distinguished Toastmaster? And when could the club host a program inside the regular meeting schedule? So as you think about this, and that you're gold mining in your clubs, in your geographic or global area of what groups and organizations could be served, as you put that into the chat box, if you could please indicate that yes, you're interested in hosting a Speechcraft program, perhaps your club name, maybe an email address for you for follow-up from either our district or your district, either one, and that you're interested in hosting a Speechcraft. Let us know what club, so that we can follow up. Page 5, I prepared for you a frequently asked questions and support. When you are searching for more information on Speechcraft, consider using the hashtag Speechcraft, and you will see a lot of light ups on Facebook. You have abundant support in Founders District. Here's what we call our trio, and we're here today. And if you missed any of the handouts, okay, so we're putting that link into the chat box as well, that all of the handouts will be provided there too. So these are some of the handouts that, thank you so much, chat masters, for putting into the chat additional documents for you, including this resource sheet, which is available both as a Word doc as well as PDF, and the links are live. So they are hyperlinks ready to go. Here's the Canva templates using TI branding so that we all are on the same page. We're all promoting it. And the Toastmasters International Accredited Speaker Program, Founders District proudly has a homegrown accredited speaker, Karen Twitchell. A dual member from District 1, also in Founders, is accredited speaker Eldana Lewis Fernandez. So if you're interested in, and if you are already being paid to present as a speaker, you may be eligible to apply for the accredited speaker program. All right, so take a look at that golden nugget sheet. Time to light up the chat with what have you gold miners discovered as we are in the gold rush state. So light up the chat. I'll be opening it up in just a second. For the Heart of a Toastmaster book, you might be familiar with it. It was a collection of true short stories, and I entered it into the contest for the International Book Awards to give Toastmasters International global recognition. There are true stories from around the globe of 135 members, including 7. These 7 listed in Founders District alone. You also have a bonus to our membership here, the Heart of a Military Woman book. It was entered into the San Diego Book Awards, and it won Best Inspirational. Co-author is Eldana Lewis Fernandez, accredited speaker, and our own district director is published with her award-winning story inside of the book. So thank you for your service in the military, Jean. Thank you so very much. Wonderful, wonderful. So as we go forth into this Toastmasters term and beyond, and into this summer LACE, which stands for Leadership and Communication Experience, we hope that you're tapping into the gold mine. And it's all about matchmaking of what can we do? Who do we need to recruit? Who needs what it is that we have to offer? And let's share with others that which we have been able to benefit from ourselves. So I'm going to open up the chat, and here's what I encourage you to do. And thank you for the engaging conversation and putting into the chat how you are able to apply all these strategies. I love it. And kudos to the chat masters for keeping up with me. Really well done. And if you missed any of the handouts, again, we'll put a link into the chat box regarding where you can find those. Otherwise, go to SherylRoush.com. In the blog, look at Founders District. Everything is posted there, all 8 of them. So what are your takeaways with that? And as we bring this session to a close, remember that you are the gold. You are the gold. It's been my privilege to serve you.